So anyway, I'm here to just tell you, we're like emissaries from a far country, to tell you that in Nashville, the daffodils are in bloom, and the tulips are sneaking up out of the ground. There are blossoms on our cherry tree, and you may find it hard to believe when you look outside and you see the snow, but something good is coming to you. The spring is coming. It's working its way towards you. Slowly but surely, I promise. We've seen it with our own eyes. We're like the apostles, where it's like we're telling you the truth. We saw it. We bear witness to the fact that the stories are true, that spring is coming, okay? So, and that's kind of what we're getting at for this entire tour, is that this season where we kind of reflect on the great sorrow that was endured by Christ, by the abuse, by the loneliness that he endured, the forsakenness that he endured. It's all leading to something really good and really beautiful. And I know it's hard to believe, and I know there are people in the audience tonight who are in torment right now, who feel the desolation that Audrey was talking about, or have felt it. I know this community has felt it over the last few years, and but I don't know how to wrap this up except to say that as a wannabe nerd gardener, I have come to realize that the only way for me to plant the seed is for me to tear open the earth, is to tear a wound into the soil. And I don't wound the soil because I'm mad at it or because I'm cruel. I tear open the soil because I intend to put a seed there and cover it over like a funeral and wait and watch as new life comes forth and it bears fruit. And I know it's so hard to believe when you look at this dead little thing and you look at that dark ground, that there could ever be something that you could eat or something that could be beautiful, it could blossom that comes out of it. But it just does happen. It's a story that God keeps telling every single year. The spring comes back. Every single year the daffodils come out of the ground and they say the stories are true. Every single time the sun sets and the sun comes back up again, it's a death and it's a resurrection. Martin Luther said, "Our Lord has written the promise of resurrection not in books alone, but in every leaf in springtime." And that's what we're here to celebrate and to remind ourselves of. And so I wrote this song. The back half of it's all based on Isaiah 55, which I think is one of the most beautiful, luminous pictures of the new creation. And it tells the story of God the gardener. You know, I don't think it's an accident that the whole thing started with Adam and Eve in a garden, and that Jesus was buried in a garden tomb, and that when Mary saw him in the mist and she thought he was a gardener, and then Revelation paints this beautiful picture in Isaiah too of the new creation, like a redeemed earth, a redeemed garden. So this is a song about God the gardener. Thanks, everybody. Oh God, I am furrowed like the field, torn open like the dirt, and I know that to be healed, that I must be broken first. But I am aching for the yield that you will harvest from this hurt. Abide in me, let these branches bear you fruit. Abide in me, Lord, as I abide in you. So I kneel at the bright edge of the garden, at the golden edge of dawn, at the glowing edge of spring, when the winter's edge is gone. And I can see the color green, I can hear the sower's song. Abide in me, let these branches bear you fruit. Abide in me, Lord, let your word take root. Remove in me the branch that bears no fruit, and move in me, Lord, as I abide in you. As the rain and the snow fall down from the sky, And they don't return, but they water the earth and they bring forth life, giving seed to the sower, bread for the hunger. So shall the word of the Lord be with a sound like thunder. And it will not return void. We shall be led in peace and go out with joy. And the hills before us will raise their voices, and the trees of the field will clap their hands as the land rejoices. And instead of the thorn now, the cypress towers, and instead of the briar, the myrtle blooms with 1,000 flowers. And we'll make a name for our God, a sign everlasting that will never be cut off. As the earth brings forth sprouts from the seed, what is sown in the garden grows into a mighty tree. So the Lord plants justice and praise to rise before the nations till the end of days. As the rain and the snow fall down from the sky, and they don't return, but they water the earth and they bring forth life, giving seed to the sower and bread for the hunger. So shall the word of the Lord be with a sound like thunder. And it will not return void. It will not return. It will not return void. It will not return. It will not return void. We shall be led in peace and go out with joy. And the sower leads us, and the sower leads us, and the sower leads us.